Hi, I'm Ash, and this is Chai and Matcha, where we try to have meaningful conversations around personal development, pop culture, mental health, the Desi community, and so much more. If you're into that kind of stuff, or just need someone to accompany you in your commute, or when you're drinking your chai of the day, I hope you'll follow, comment, rate, all of that jazz. I'd highly appreciate it. So today's topic that I wanted to talk about is 5 things that I've learned from having anxiety and social anxiety. Now, lucky for me, I have both of them. So I've had them for quite a long time. And so I feel like I've learned a lot along this whole journey. I've had it since I was almost 9 years old. Also, I do want to mention that I sort of diagnosed it myself because I don't really have any access to mental health care. But from the symptoms and everything, I'm pretty sure that I do have that. So I do want to say that in advance. But these are 5 things that I think anyone can sort of learn or literally understand, because honestly these things are applicable to anyone. It's just things that I realized having anxiety. I was like, oh my god, they needed to be stated to me. But I learned these along the way, having almost literally 13 years of dealing with this. So hopefully they help someone out. It's not anxiety, and social anxiety is really hard to deal with on your own, and you really need to be able to talk about it with someone. So I hope you have that somebody in your life, whoever it may be. It can be literally anyone, as long as they're not giving you it's not harming you or affecting you in a negative way. In that case, maybe you should go to an actual mental health professional. Okay, so the number one thing that I learned is that the things that you see, the things that you are so scared of, are not as big as you might think they are. So take, for example, I used to be extremely scared, especially during school and middle school and high school and stuff, of if I forgot my homework, or if I didn't do my homework and it was for a valid reason, I would literally overwork myself to make sure that I did it before the class, because even if I had a valid excuse, I would be absolutely terrified that the teacher would be extremely disappointed in me. And for some reason, I always had this morbid idea that they were gonna kill me, they were gonna hurt me really bad, or something like that. Just the worst possible thing that you can think of is what I thought. If I didn't turn in my homework, even for a valid excuse, I had a conference that I had to go to, or a choir thing or anything, literally I was so terrified of disappointment, or disappointing others, or teachers and stuff, that I was they're so inflexible, all that stuff. So I had to remind myself that people are not robots. They are flexible human beings, and they will understand you, whatever, right? And although that was something that I really struggled with, it really made me believe in a lot more of preparedness, really being prepared for most things, being prepared for presentations really well, or for classes, or genuinely not forgetting most things. I was so I'm pretty sure it is not OCD. I don't want to diagnose myself in that way, but I just was so prepared, because I was so scared of disappointing someone, or being embarrassed, that I was extra prepared, that I would just bring things, even if I didn't need them, I'd bring them just in case if something happened. But that also is with that comes punctuality, where I would literally want to be the first person in the classroom, because I could not bear to have someone look at me when I walked through the door. I don't know what it was, but it was just that extra punctuality, getting there 15 to 20 minutes early before class started. And I would be freaking out if I had a class before, and so there's no possible way for me to get there 15 minutes early. Oh my God forbid that class went over time, and so I'd be late to the actual class. So oh my God. And that it wasn't only for school purposes, but it was also meeting up with friends or something. I would not want to be the person that was late, because I did not want people to stare at me when I come in late and feel extremely bad. And it just gave me so much anxiety that I thought that they weren't going to be friends with me anymore. Or I thought even if it was literally I was never late, but if that one time I was late, I would think that all of a sudden I was going to be alone and all that stuff. And it was just killing me inside. So I remember this, and I remind myself every single day. And that's something that I've learned from having anxiety, is that the things that are in your head are never going to be as big in real life as you think they are, as well as that people are not robots. They're not going to be oh, one thing off, well, guess chop off her head or something. You know, like, it's not like that at all. Like, people are understanding, people are nice, and like, most of the time at least, that like, yeah, like, trust people to understand you. Just communicate, talk, it's okay. Number 2 is actually working on the stuff that you are anxious about, especially if you have social anxiety like I do. It's really easy to fall into a trap of like, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't do that because people are going to judge me. And I had to realize that like, the stuff that you think that people are judging you for are the things that you are judging yourself on. And it was really hard because I remember like being in like middle school or high school and being afraid to like tie up my hair because it was different. And I was like, what are people going to think about that? I'm like, and now that I think about it, I'm like, tying my hair up, no one cares if you tie your hair up or not. Like, really, like, genuinely. So it's like, or like other things. And I don't know why I was judging. I just like didn't want to cause any kind of difference. I didn't want to cause any sort of like, I just wanted people to like, it just wanted to be like a wallflower, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to say work on that stuff if you can, like whatever it is, like write down what you think that people are judging you for. Like if what you're so scared of, like write it down. And when you see it on paper, you can either, you're going to be like, okay, like either this is something that I can change if I want to, or you learn how to accept it, or just like, it's just like writing it down and seeing it on paper. A lot of things really sound really stupid and you're like, oh wait, that sounds so stupid. And so then, but again, it's never that simple. So like, just like keep working at it, but like genuinely like writing it down and like seeing it on paper and seeing the stuff that you were judging yourself on. I remember I was judging myself on my skin color, of my race, of where I came from, how I talked, how I was like hyper conscious of like what I was doing at all times, that it was just like, these people probably didn't even care. And yet I was so scared of their opinion that like, I was like judging myself for it. And it would putting myself through so much pain for no reason. Yeah. Number 3 is learning about the spotlight effect. There's a phenomenon in psychology called the spotlight effect, where essentially people think that everyone is looking at them at all times, hence the spotlight, you know? But in reality, people don't really care about you. The average person on the street or in the locker rooms or in the hallway at school or whatever don't really care about you. At least they don't really think about it at all. Like, I'm like trying to think of like other people that I would like see in high school, and I'm like, I don't remember a single thing they did. Like, you know, they might have like, you know, said the wrong thing in class one time. I don't remember that. Like, I genuinely don't care. Like, I don't remember because I'm so focused on my own life. And I feel like most people are doing the exact same thing. And also, like, if they're focused on you the entire time, you're just like, girl, like, focus on you, focus on your own life, right? Okay. So people don't necessarily care about you in that way. Also, on the flip side though, there are your friends and your family and your like people who you love who do care about you in the other way, because I feel like when you have anxiety and depression, because voila, I gotta have all of them, because obviously I always also think that like, hey, no one cares about me, all that kind of thing. So on the flip side, there are people out there that you know or may not know even, that love you and care for you and actually want the best for you. So just make sure you know that like most people don't actually care about your everyday things, and the people who do care about you and like deeply are not going to care about the superficial stuff. So I promise you, like, live your own life, do whatever you want to do. If you're making a mistake, if you stumble or if you stutter, it's fine. Everyone does that. No one's going to care. Like, literally laugh it off. Yeah. I remember I used to be so hyper-focused on that. I was like, oh my God, I stuttered, I stumbled, I did this, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, what do they think of me? But now it's just like, you know what? Like, everyone does that. Like, I'm not judging other people for it. Like, why would they judge me? And like, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Like, it's literally fine. Like, we have so many problems to think about. Why should they care about me stuttering or stumbling? Like, why should they care? You know, like if they do, well, they literally have other problems going on. Okay. Number 4 is time heals most things, okay? If you especially are out of high school, for example, or if you're out of middle school or whatever, like most people you're never going to see them again unless you choose to. So it's just like, it's okay. Like whatever you're doing, whatever you're feeling right now, whether it's anxiety or whatever, like and it's like regarding other people, forget about them. Like, I know it's so hard in the moment. I remember thinking this way too, like being like, oh my God, how could I forget about them? It's in the moment. Like, genuinely, like, you have to expand your horizons beyond your school and your community, because there's so much more in the world. And like, oh my God, it's so important to find like, I guess, comfort in the fact that like you might never see these people again unless you genuinely choose to. Like, even to this day, like, I have not been back. I have not seen anyone from high school besides the people that I genuinely want to go see, like my friends from high school, right? So yeah, high school and stuff ends. You will never see them again if you never choose to again. And then you'll be able to find your own community of people that you genuinely care about. Or if you want to be alone, that's fine too, you know? Like, do what you got to do. But number 5 is find comfort in other people and your interests, right? That's what's going to help you with your anxiety and your social anxiety. Is like, we are meant to be with other people. And like with social anxiety, it can seem extremely difficult to do that because, hey, you know, like, they're the ones judging me. Promise you, not everyone is like that. So find the ones that help you through it, help you avoid. And even like, honestly, like, some of my best friends like have helped me like know the way that I feel. And like, I would always get extremely, extremely nervous. And like, when I mean extremely nervous, I mean like extremely anxious, to the point where I would literally be like hyperventilating if I had to walk past the locker rooms, because that was where all like the cool people were. Oh my God, I can't believe that my younger self was like that. I was like, I feel so like sad for her, but like, that's what it was at the time. But it was like my best friends and stuff would help me avoid them, because I would be talking to them constantly instead of like trying to focus on what's going around me. So they can help you a lot by avoiding the people who may trigger you or trigger your social anxiety or whatever. Number 2, you could also relate to someone, you know, like maybe somebody else is also going through the same damn thing, and you could just, you know, relate with each other, help each other cope with everything, because it's really hard. And it's also just like, once you start to like gain the momentum of like meeting other people and realizing they're not as scary as you may think in your head. As I said, not as big. People are understanding and flexible, and you know, the problems aren't as big as in real life as they are in your head. It can really help mitigate your anxiety or your social anxiety, whatever that is, because like, girl, I get it. Social anxiety is so painful and it is so hard to get through, especially if you're going through it day in and day out, especially with high school, where it can be a really toxic environment at times. Trust me, I know my high school was extremely toxic, extremely dramatic, lots of drama and everything, and the administration and all that. Like, trust me, I get it. But like, you will get through it and you will be okay. Last but not least is to rest and give yourself space and give yourself time. These things aren't as easy to deal with, and they don't like just go away in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, you know? Like, they don't go away so quickly. And so it honestly just takes time for you to experience these things and realize and come to conclusions and realize that, like, you know, hey, maybe just continue working at it. Like, just continue working at being a better conversationalist or communicator. Like, it's okay. You'll do it. Just give yourself the space some days. If you know that you're just like, nothing is not going to help for you to go out and meet people today, just like give yourself the space to time to rest, because girl, our social batteries can really drain really quickly, especially if you're an introvert or something. And especially if you deal with social anxiety, it can be very tiring to go through meeting people day in and day out, and like every single day, and having to like be just like on the alert at all times. So trust me, I get it. Find your safe spaces where you can feel better and grounded, and instead of like outside of that fight or flight response. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Social anxiety is extreme, and anxiety are just so hard to deal with. And like, trust me when I tell you, like, it can seem like you're shy, or it can seem like you're you know, like just like overly scared or something like that. And I know that it's so much more than that. It's so much more than like than what like I think everyone just perceives it as to be. So yeah, it's social anxiety. It's not something I would ever wish on even my like worst enemies, because it's just like really debilitates you from the inside. And like, no matter what other people are thinking, like they might not even be thinking about you in that way, but like you think that they're thinking that way, and you're just like, oh my God, like, and then you just debilitate yourself more, and we just make up these stupid little thoughts about in our heads, and it's not great. It's not fun. But yeah, Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing day. Please make sure to subscribe, follow, comment, and all of that jazz. Follow me on Instagram at Chai and Matcha, and as well as my personal account at AshRosesXO. Till next time. Bye.